Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, Resources Academy. Today we're going to start with a topic that is really important in all uh, the grades when you're studying physics actually. So that is related to the SI units. Before we go into what is the SI unit or what are the SI units, we should first understand what exactly is a unit. So I would start off with the definition of the unit or the units. Basically, the units, they are the standard quantities. Standard quantities. For example, we define that the distance from this point and this point, let's call them A and B. This distance is actually called 1 meter. Now, this 1 meter, we, the humans, have made it. And once we have made it, we make it a standard. We made it a standard. Okay, this much length is going to be 1 meter. Now, if you start stacking them, if you start combining them, you'll get another 1 meter, another 1 meter, and you will get a 3 meter length. So same way you can combine them to get a longer length. Same way, the same way 1 kilogram is defined. Same way degrees Celsius is defined, or you can say the Kelvin. All those words, kilogram, degree Celsius, meter, all those quantities, they are called the standard quantities or the standard amounts of the physical quantities. They are the standards. And you should remember that we have made it. They didn't come from the sky. We just made them. The mankind made it. So this is something called the units. Okay. By the way, you can define your own units if you want, but that has to be a standard. If your length, for example, today you define that the length you define for 1 meter, suppose you say that I define this length as 1 meter. Some other day I say that no, I take this much length as 1 meter. So that's why it's not a standard. We should agree upon something that we can use everywhere. You're in America, you're in England, you're you're in Africa. Those standards should remain the same. So that's why it leads us to the importance or the need of the standard. The, this leads us to our next topic, that is what we call the SI units. Okay, SI units. By the way, this is written as the System International. System International, it is an organization. It is an organization that oversees the development of standards. Okay, this is an organization. The units which are developed by the System International, that organization, we call them the SI units. Also, these units, sometimes they're called the metric system of units. Okay, metric system of units, because in the SI units the distance is measured in meters. That's what we have just talked about. Apart from this System International units, we have these days American units, and the English units. You can use any one of them, but they are actually the local or the domestic units which those countries use in their own countries. We don't use them, but the countries, they are free to choose. Either they are going to use the American units or they're going to use the English units. Sometimes it is that which units we are going to use. Sometimes it is dictated by the industry. For example, uh, uh, the horsepower unit. Sometimes you might have seen represented by HP. For example, you are importing a whole lot of the motors, and those motors, they are actually coming from USA because they are using the horsepower as the unit of the energy. This is going to be the unit that you're going to use as well. So that depends. It is just an example. Sometimes the unit you're going to use, it is dictated by the industry. By the way, you're free to use. Okay, so that's it. So what we have done today, we talked about the unit, what is a unit, and what is the SI unit. Okay, guys, see you.